Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Casey, and for those of you that don't know me, we are an apostolic family of 8. We have 6 kids, 5 boys and 1 girl, and recently in the whole month of February and half of March, we went on a 7-week RV vacation to Florida. And today's video is about how we were able to afford a trip and how you can travel frugally as well. The first question that people ask us is, how were you able to go for 7 weeks? Doesn't your husband have a job? Well, in actuality, no, he did not. The company that he was working for went through some reorganization and they offered a voluntary severance package and he decided to take it. So he is in between jobs right now, and we had some time off. He did get paid, so that was wonderful. We were able to plan for this vacation. We knew ahead of time that he was doing this, and so even though you might not have 7 weeks that you're able to go on a vacation, I think the rest of my tips will be able to help you in whatever kind of vacation or time frame that you choose to do. So my very first tip is pre-plan. Do not just on a whim decide, let's go to Florida next month and just go, unless you're independently wealthy, which you can do whatever you want. So what we do is we have a budget every month and we actually put money into that budget for our vacation fund. We have a vacation fund. So we put money in, we save money every month that goes into our vacation fund. We like to go on a bigger trip about every other year. So we'll go on a big trip like our Florida trip, and then this next year we probably will just do like a week or 2 camping more locally, just in Wisconsin, or probably in Wisconsin. We'll do some smaller things, so we still get family time, we still have vacation time, but we're not going to spend a lot to travel. So we saved up for our Florida vacation. We saved for about 2.5 years that we were saving and putting money in a vacation fund every month. Housing. Like I said in the beginning, we are a family of 8. So we have 6 children. So we have outgrown a standard hotel room. Usually there's only 4 people. You can sneak by with 6 usually, but 8 people is too much for a standard hotel room. They would require us to get 2 hotel rooms. And that's just not gonna fly. I'm not gonna sleep in a different room with a couple of my kids while Kevin sleeps in a room with the rest of the kids. Like, that's not a vacation. We wanna be together. We're a family. We wanna be together. So our options, which is what we first started thinking about, was to rent a house. There's Airbnb, is it VBRO? I think there's a few sites that you can go to rent vacation houses. So we thought, well, maybe we'll just do that. We'll get a house for a couple weeks, but this was our one and only chance to go to Florida. So we didn't really want to be tied to a house. And what if we picked a certain week to be at a beach house, and then the weather was terrible, and then we were stuck at this beach house and there's nothing to do because it was rainy and yucky. And so we decided to get an RV. We bought a 25-foot travel trailer, and we bought it used off of Craigslist. We paid cash. We bought a used older model RV that has room for all 6 of our kids and us to sleep in. We bought it off of Craigslist. We paid cash, and then my husband was able to put his own tow stuff, whatever you need to tow the camper. Like, he was able to we had to put a hitch on the van. We have a 12-passenger van. We had to put the hitch on there, and then he also was able to wire it for the brakes and everything. So that was good. He did that himself, so that saved some money. And my husband's tip is to make sure that everything is in good working order before you go. Make sure your tires are good. Make sure, there's no check engine light on. Make sure everything is in good working order before you go, because you don't want to have a breakdown, because that will definitely put a crimp in the budget. We actually expected to have a breakdown at some point, or something go wrong, but God really blessed us and we did not have any issues. We had no flat tires. Of course, we did purchase all new tires for the RV because we had a flat. If you watch our very first RV camping with our kids, we had a flat tire and we just didn't want the rest to blow. So we ended up buying new tires for that. So we have our RV, we have money saved that we've been saving in the bank. We have time off of work, we have our vacation planned. Now, housing. We chose to stay at state parks. They are much cheaper. The average is between $25 to $40 for state parks, at least in Florida, that's what we paid. There are also like high-end RV resorts that have a lot of amenities and a lot of stuff going on, but we wanted to see Florida. We didn't want to go to Florida just to hang out at the RV park. We wanted to explore Florida. We like that the state parks usually have nature trails and hiking available. They have, some of them are located by the beach. You know, you can go fishing, canoeing, kayaking. All of that stuff is at the state parks already. And if you're camping, then you don't have to pay to get into the state parks because you paid for your camping fee. So that is primarily what we did. So we chose the state parks over the more expensive RV resorts. There are places, even Disney has an RV resort. I think it's called the Wilderness, which I've heard is wonderful if you choose that. But we chose to stay at cheaper state parks. And also don't forget about staying in friends' driveways, people that you know. If you're going to visit them, ask them if you can just park in their driveway. Some people won't have room or won't want you to stay there, but others will. So don't forget about that. And also, there is even boondocking at Walmart. We did it for one night on our drive down because we were just driving. We think we drove to like 11 o'clock at night, and then we stayed at a Walmart parking lot and drove on. You will have to check if that Walmart allows it. You'll have to make sure there's no signs posted and stuff, but you can Google on how to boondock at Walmart. There's all kinds of YouTube videos that you can find on people that boondock at Walmart. All right, our absolute biggest expense, well, besides gas. Gas actually was our biggest expense, and on my notes here I wrote, I have no tips. There's no tips around getting gas. Look for the cheapest gas station that you can find and fill up. But besides gas, which was a lot, food. Food is the big one. So we had the RV, so we had a kitchen with us. We had a refrigerator in our RV, and then we have a stovetop. We did not have an oven in ours. And then we also had a outdoor kitchen, which is just a burner, a stovetop outdoors, which was the best. It was we use it all the time. And then there was also the fire, if we got a fire going. Our biggest tip is cook in your camper. If you brought the camper, cook in it. We used only one bottle of propane for the entire 7-week trip, so that doesn't cost very much to use your facilities there. And then I kind of wrote down some of the main types of foods that we ate. So for breakfast, we pretty much always had cereal or oatmeal, and then we occasionally would cook eggs and sausage and maybe do like breakfast burritos. We probably did eggs or sausage only about once a week. So we pretty much stuck to cereal and oatmeal just because it was easier and we could eat it in the camper quickly. For lunch, we pretty much stuck to sandwiches, fruit, maybe some chips. If we were by the camper, we would have macaroni and cheese. If we were going to some kind of attraction, or we were going hiking or to the beach, we would pack our own lunch. So I would make sandwiches ahead of time, or sometimes I'd just grab a loaf of bread, a jar of peanut butter, and a jar of jelly, and a bag of apples, and a bag of chips, and just throw it all in a big bag, and we would take that with us. Also at places like Legoland, I think, let's see, Legoland opens at 10, I believe, and they close at 4 or 5. So what we did is we had our regular breakfast, and then at 10 o'clock, right before going into the park, we pretty much ate lunch. So we let the kids all have a sandwich and a fruit or whatever. And then they do allow you to bring in a few snacks for small children. So I took the liberty to bring a box of granola bars and a bag of apples with us. So then at like 2 o'clock we had granola bars and apples, and then as soon as we got back to the car, once all the fun was done, we had more snacks. I don't know, whatever else I had, more sandwiches or some kind of snack I had in the van. So that way we did not have to pay for the super expensive food inside Legoland. So pretty much everywhere we went, we packed our own lunch. Also, dinners. We had very simple, we wanted easy to cook, not too expensive dinners. So we had things like hamburgers, spaghetti, tacos. We would just make noodles or rice, and then we bought some fish and things like that. Baked potatoes was a good one in the campfire. We have like a Dutch oven, so we did a lot of baked potatoes, some stroganoff, things like that. Desserts was pretty much s'mores, a lot of s'mores. So that was the food that we ate, but it was vacation. We were gone for 7 weeks, so we did go out to eat a little bit, but we tried to go to cheaper places, like pizza. I guess the first place we went out to eat was for my birthday, and we went to a local pizza place. That was probably the most expensive place we went to. Then we went to Burger King. If you watched one of my videos when we were near Destin, Burger King had a deal for 10 chicken nuggets for $1. So we ordered 120 chicken nuggets. So, you know, we still got to go out to eat. We got the experience, and the kids had fun. We did go get McDonald's a few times, especially when we were driving. That was a good thing. But also while we were driving, I was able to get into the camper. So sometimes while we were driving, I would just run back into the camper while we were stopped at the gas station and quick make everyone a sandwich and then bring it into the van. So sometimes we would stop at McDonald's, and sometimes I would make sandwiches in the camper. We also went to Cece's Pizza, which is like a pizza buffet place. A long time ago, when Kevin and I were first married, there was a Cece's near where we lived, and I think back then it was like $3.50 a person. So we would go when we first got married. So it was kind of a nostalgic, like, oh my goodness, there's a Cece's, let's go, let's take the kids. And of course my kids loved it because they love pizza and it was all you can eat. We also went to Chick-fil-A twice because that is my favorite restaurant, and we don't have it up here in Wisconsin, at least not by where I live. And then our last, it was like kind of eating out, kind of not. We looked up the price at what it would cost to go out to eat for all of us at a regular restaurant to get fish. You know, we were by the ocean, fresh seafood. We're like, okay, what would it cost to go get a seafood meal? I kind of thought before we left that we would go out for seafood 2 or 3 times. But then I looked online at the menus and the prices, and it would have cost our family of 8 over $100 just for one dinner. Probably like $130 if we just got like basic meals. And that was just ridiculous. So we ended up going to fish markets. I think we stopped 3 or 4 times at different fish markets and got fish and shrimp. We tried, did we try grouper? And we tried black drum, bassa, maybe grouper. We tried some shark. We got a lot of shrimp. Oh, and we did go out for crabs. We went to a takeout crab place that was pretty cheap. It was kind of in a, yeah, it wasn't the best location. It was a little, we weren't sure, but it ended up being really good. That's all of our breakfast, lunch, dinner, desserts, restaurants. We went grocery shopping. We went grocery shopping about once a week. We go to Walmart or Aldi's. We also tried Winn-Dixie. I think we might have gone to Publix. But overall, groceries are more expensive in Florida. So that was a little disappointing. Firewood. Firewood we bought as we went. You're not supposed to move firewood, you know, because of all the bugs and whatnot. We found that there was a huge discrepancy on prices. When the wood was really cheap, we would buy more of it and we would have a lot more fires and have a lot more s'mores. When the wood was like $8 for this little bitty bundle, we had like 1 fire and that was it. With Lakuchi, you could just pick up your own firewood out of the woods, so then we had lots of big fires. Those were nice. I have a few tips for attractions. How can you afford attractions? First of all, look for the things that are free, like beaches, nature trails, free museums. Some of the campgrounds even had free museums right there. So we did all of those things. If the place you're staying at, the campground, has a pool, go to the pool. We did shuffleboard at Topsail. So do the free things that are at the campsite, at the state park that you're at. There's so much stuff that you can explore there. Like Fort Pickens, the actual fort we were able to explore while we were at Fort Pickens, and some of the other batteries, which my kids thought were awesome. We even went to one state park that had a potluck every Wednesday. So hey, why not? Let's go. They had free music. It was a potluck. You got to meet your neighbors, your fellow campers, and it was fun. We'll stop at visitor centers. Pick up the brochures. They all have coupons in them, whether there's coupons for restaurants or coupons for local attractions. Ask the people that work there. Talk to your fellow campers that are camped around you and ask them, hey, are you local? A lot of people are local, so they have good tips on where to go and things that are free. You might find some neat waterfalls, or we found those caves. That was not advertised anywhere. We were just found that by word of mouth. If you are a homeschooler like we are, ask for a homeschool discount. Take your homeschool ID or your paper. For Wisconsin, I just have a printout from the Department of Public Instruction that says that we're homeschoolers and the year and the ages of my kids. So I just brought that whole paper with us, and we showed it, and we got several discounts, especially Legoland. My last tip is that, yes, you probably will want to do a few big ticket things. Like for us, it was Legoland, and I also really wanted to do an airboat ride. So plan ahead, plan accordingly. Look for coupons, make sure you plan so you have money for those big ticket items. Those are my tips on how we were able to afford a 7-week vacation in Florida with a family of 8. I hope that you got a few ideas for your next vacation, and I would love to hear all about your vacation plans for this year, 2019. Share in the comments.